Hey, it's Joe Amoia, your ambassador for love. Today I'd like to talk about a letter that I received from one of the members of our community, and I'd love to share it with you. So if you're one of those women who's having a hard time letting go of the past, you've had your heart broken, and you just can't seem to put it behind you and move on, you're going to love this video because you're actually going to learn the 3 things that you must do in order to move forward and create the relationship that you're ultimately looking for. So here's the letter. Joe, what happens when you do all the things that are right and you're doing all the work, facing your stuff and taking care of your own business, and your husband just bails? It turns out I was his 4th wife. He lived so many lies and I never even knew it. He even screwed over his 3 kids from 2 other ex-wife victims. He's a piece of shit. I love that one. And I know it. So I know it wasn't me, but that doesn't make me feel any better, and it doesn't make the hurt any less. It still sucks. I trusted him and found out the hard way by getting royally burned by him, and that he was a skilled con artist. What's worse is he's already got some other sucker lined up to burn. He's a living, breathing freaking tragedy. Jem. Well, Jem, and anybody else who's been in a situation where you've been burned, totally get it, and I'm going to say this right up front. Yes, it does suck. It absolutely sucks to give your heart to somebody and to know that they take a knife, stick it in, twist it around, and just cause you all this emotional pain. So I remember back in the time where I gave my all to someone and they betrayed me. And it sucked. There's no other way to put it. But it doesn't mean it's the end. It doesn't define you, and it doesn't define all men. Those of you who know me know that there are 2 types of guys in the world. There are the boys, the unemotionally available, selfish, immature guys who only care about themselves, and then there are the men. Those are the kind of guys that you build a relationship with. So realize that this guy was a boy for a long time, and I truly believe that the red flags are there. And in fact, I've never had a conversation, not one conversation ever, with a woman in situations like this where we go back and we look at it and we see that, yeah, the red flags were there. And I know with my ex, the red flags were there from the very beginning, but I didn't see them. Well, that's not true. I saw them. I didn't want to see them. Okay. She was telling me everything I wanted to hear. She was feeding right into my ego. And so as a result, I was taking the crumbs that she was giving me instead of being real honest with myself. So I've got 3 tips that are going to help you get past this, because you really have a choice. You can focus on this and let it define you and become a bitter person, which is perfectly understandable, and it's your choice. There are a lot of people out there like that. But let me ask you this. If you do that and a good guy comes along and you were him, would you want to be with you? Would you want to be with a woman who's got a lot of baggage, who doesn't trust men because she got screwed over by some douchebag? Probably not. And I can tell you this, as a guy, we smell this stuff a mile away. So if we're out and we're trying to get to know you and we see this stuff, we're like, we're out of here. Okay? So it's really imperative that you understand that. So what we're going to do is talk about these 3 steps. So the first step is to honor your feelings. Your feelings are absolutely valid. And anybody who tells you that your feelings don't matter or they're not right is full of crap. You feel what you feel for a reason. So the first thing to do is to explore, why do I feel this way? And in this case, it's pretty obvious. You gave your heart to a guy, or you gave your life to a guy for 18 years, and he screwed you over. I think any human being who's in that situation would feel the same way. But not only do you have to honor your feelings, you then have to deal with them and ultimately decide, am I going to let this run my life? When I was at that point in my life where I got screwed over, I had a choice. And I knew I had a choice. I said, I can let this define me. I can be that bitter guy who doesn't trust anybody, who never opens himself up again, and who puts up walls and never lets anybody close to him because he's afraid of getting hurt. And I had a family member that did that. And I remember how she ruined her life. Because she just became this angry, bitter person because of how her ex-husband screwed her over 30 years ago. And I'm like, you know what? I didn't want to be like that. I didn't want this person screwed me over once. I wasn't going to let them screw me over twice. And so that's the way I look at it, is that, yeah, he screwed you over, but he's causing you more pain by not allowing you to move forward and go on and create the relationship and the life that you really want. So step number one is you got to honor your feelings and you got to deal with them. Step number two, and this is a big one, and you might not like this one, is you want to see what role you played in the freaking tragedy. Because we always play a role. And I know sometimes, no, he was a con artist, I'm telling you. I don't care if he's an Academy Award winning actor, the world's greatest con artist, there's always red flags there. There's always signs, there's always indications that he is a con artist. And I don't mean that you see that he's a con, but you know that things aren't right. I guarantee your gut was telling you things weren't right. He was doing things that wasn't working for you, that wasn't making you happy, that was consistently making you frustrated, upset, angry, resentful, all those negative emotions. You were feeling those. But because of the good times, because of those little crumbs, we make excuses or we don't want to see them, whatever it is. So we have to really go back. In order to go forward, the only way is to say, okay, what role did I play in this tragedy? What role did I play in the events leading up to this? And once you do that, that leads us to the third step. See what you can learn from it. When I went back with my ex and I looked over and I saw the role that I played, because the truth is, she never put a gun to my head. She never made me stay. And I stayed by my own choice for my own reasons. And so that's what I did. I took some mirror time to really get honest with myself, say, why? Why did I allow this to go on? I knew, or I had a feeling, but yet I continued to allow it to go on. What was going on? And simply get real with that. See, I believe there are two types of people in the world. There are winners and there are victims. The victims are the ones who go around saying, poor me, boo-hoo, I got screwed. Yeah, it happens. As the old bumper sticker says, shit happens. Well, the key is to learn from that shit. And the other group are the winners. And the winners are those individuals who shit happens to. They get burned, they get screwed over, but they don't let it define them. They don't give it the juice and they say, what can I do to learn from this so that I can make things better in the future? So I want you to go back and watch this video. If you're really having a hard time getting over the past, and I want you to write these 3 steps down. And I want you to, step number 1 is honor your feelings. Step number 2 is see what role you played. And step number 3 is to see what you can learn from it. Okay? And really get real. Again, there's no judgment here. It's only you will know this stuff. But the only way you're going to go forward is to really meet this stuff head on. See, most of us, these emotions are so painful and we're so angry. And very often there's a payoff to playing the role of victim that we don't want to give it up. And so the only way to truly go forward is to simply deal with this stuff, take it on, and ultimately get past it. Well, I know I threw a lot at you today. I know for some of you this is going to bring up some stuff. You might go, no, but you don't understand. He really duped me. And I get it. There are bastards out there. I totally get it. But the key is what you can learn from this and how you can use it as an expensive learning lesson as you go forward. Because, see, in life, I believe there's no such thing as a mistake if you learn from it. So the key is to turn those mistakes into expensive learning lessons. When you do that, you'll be in a much better position to move forward and create the relationship and the life that you really want. As always, it's an honor and privilege to be with you. I hope this helps. We'll see you next time. Much love. Bye-bye.